Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Andrew Richter, the television show, continuing our discussion on public education while Ron gets his papers all set up there.
You and I will do a song and dance while he does.
I can't dance.
I can't sing.
Yeah, okay, well then we're a perfect duet then.
Yep.
Once again, Jerry Lindberg
Hello.
to my right, the numbers guy, Ron Stoffel, to my left. Now, we ended the program last time talking about reducing the amount of school districts. Well, to segue into that,
Which, is, by the way, is a pipe dream.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's our little fantasy of what we'd like to see, and dreams come true once in a while.
That's right.
Local District 2, we want to focus it now on our district here in Robbinsdale, District 281. But the Brooklyn Center District, which is District 286, is kind of a microcosm of the problems with too many school districts. You look at Brooklyn Center, they've got 4 of the largest school districts in the state of Minnesota around them. Anoka, Osseo, Robbinsdale, and Minneapolis. They're a district with less than 2,000 students. They have, and Ron will give you the details on this, but they have had 8 consecutive referendums fail, and yet they're still in existence. Ron, can you make any sense out of that?
No, and you're talking to the state.
All right, show's over now, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah,
we'll see you next week.
And
Wait till the quarter hour is over so my ratings aren't hurt.
in talking to the state too, I'm not sure, because the trend is, and to inform everybody, what the Brooklyn Center School District is what they call operating debt deficiency, and there are currently 6 public schools or traditional schools that are in this, meaning that their general fund balance is at least 2.5% in the red, in negative of their annual budget. And Brooklyn Center is 14% in the red. So they're almost at $3 million of debt, and their general fund expenditures are $20 million. And they have been in this situation since 2002. So we are now.
So it's real recent.
Yeah, it's real recent. And
no one saw it coming.
Yeah, nobody's gotten them out of there. They've been on the list, in other words, since 2002.
Who's bankrolling their losses?
The state of Minnesota, I believe, is the one that's making up the difference there.
So if they're 14% in debt, they are getting a state bailout, should we call it?
See, that's where I haven't figured out exactly how. They have to be getting something. In other words, they have made payments in excess of that. They can't get referendum passed, so they can't get more money from their citizens.
Have we ruled out whether or not the teachers are getting paid in IOUs?
I'm pretty sure they're not getting paid in IOUs.
Okay, all right.
California has
that
Continental
dollar, I think.
Yeah, California has that going on, but I don't think Minnesota's gone to that yet.
Okay.
I thought California thought it was the tax returns.
Yeah.
The taxpayers who were getting the IOUs.
Something like that. But so it's not something that's recent. And again, they have administration, so there's duplication there. And I looked at their stats, and surprisingly, they must have done something, because their enrollment went up in 2010 and is projected in 2011, because they are over 2,000 now. They're up at end of 2010. They were at 2177 was the average daily membership.
Oh,
and again, we're using these technical terms.
That's the 3 enrollments, and they make the funding adjustments based on those 3.
Right, so that's how they get paid. So that isn't bodies, because there's some things, but they are, based on that, they've got to be over 2,000. But that district, and that's the problem with them, I think, getting more money, is they're at a 44% open enrollment coming in, so they have 44%
They're
of
drawing
that
a lot
number.
from the outside.
They're over 900.
Got to be Minneapolis. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
most of it is Minneapolis. I'm sure they've got some others, but it's mostly Minneapolis.
Well,
so they have around, I think it's 12,000 that are resident students. And they're losing 300 are also leaving that are resident students. They have 15,000 roughly resident students population. 3,000 or 300 of those are leaving, so they're
We
down
have
to
1,500.
1,500. Yeah, I'm sorry, 1,500.
Well, and
That
keep
was
in
fine.
mind that Northport Elementary that we have in 281 is in Brooklyn Center.
That's correct.
So some of the Brooklyn Center, and they also have 2 charter schools, don't they?
Right.
The Odyssey, and I can't think of the other one, but
Yeah,
I know
don't
they're
remember.
both in Brooklyn
Yeah,
Center.
right now, and again, Brooklyn Center has an elementary school with about 1,000 students in it, and a junior and a senior high. They make up the remaining pieces of that.
How do they? How would you explain the defeat of eight referenda in a row?
Part of it is they don't have enough. Remember, we've got an 80-20 rule going on. We only have 20% of the households have kids going to school.
Yeah.
So you've got 80% already that may or may not be on your side.
But that's true in every district.
Right.
Just about.
But then also, again, they're at about only 50% of their students are actually going to their district. 56%.
Yep.
In my mind, they're at that tipping point, and I don't know if it's mismanagement.
Well, and they've tried everything. They've tried elections in September. They've tried elections in on New Year's Day or whatever. Now there is another one coming in December.
December, yeah. And they've always asked for more money now. The December one is to renew the one that's going to fall off, because there's about $500,000 on the line here, which they've got a bailout plan. They put together a plan with the state. I saw it. It's going to take them, again, it's going to take them until 2014, I believe, is the plan to get out of debt.
That must be all that compensatory revenue we were looking at.
And actually, yeah, they're going to make a little dent in 2011, and then it's going to, and they're going to be still in the red, but they won't be
As much in the red. Right.
Yeah, they're only going to be
Yeah, a little
200,000
bit off the
rather
credit
than
card.
3 million.
Point of information. Recently in the news this past week, we learned that Lowe's, home and garden stores that are a national chain, are closing 10 of their least profitable stores in the country, one of them being in Rogers, Minnesota. They're going to close it down. They're just going to board it up and close it down, sell off the property. Would that ever happen in public education?
Well, it does to a certain extent, but not an entire district.
Well, it has in rural Minnesota. Remember, you look at your sports and stuff like that, and we've got a lot of school districts that have consolidated. I'll use that word. Maybe that's better than
Consolidated is the word they
because
use.
they won't go out of business. We already,
No.
At first session, we already talked about that. Is it's going to take 15 years before the public education system really does change. But yeah, it needs to consolidate. And again, I have been trying to find out how long, because again, we're coming up now 10 years at this. The other school districts that are on here, and again, the number has been dwindling. We're at 11 total districts, including charter schools, that are in this state, and we were at 2 or 3 years ago 26 of them. So we're going the right direction.
Yeah.
Just that Brooklyn Center has been on there forever.
Wait,
and
11 total
accountability.
districts. Wait, 11 total districts? No, there's hundreds of
No,
districts.
districts that are operating
They
2.5%
yeah,
below.
that have
Oh, okay.
that have the in
That
the
are
red.
deficient.
They're deficient, right?
Okay.
And it was 26 just a couple of years ago. So again, they're making
The
turnaround.
direction's in the right.
Right. But we have one district that is, like I said, has a problem here. And usually, again, going back to a private sector, you either fire the CEO.
Well, that's the question. They would
Yeah,
never
well,
fire
no.
anybody. No, it's
And
not
he's
gonna
been there
happen.
since 2005. So he inherited this, but it hasn't been recent. You know, he's
But you
been
can't,
there.
you can't fire a public employee.
Well, he cannot renew his contract. How is that palatable to you, Jerry, not to renew his contract? Because he's on usually a 3-year
Well,
contract.
you might want to buy the contract out and give them a lifetime
Then you have to put somebody in
retirement.
their replacement too. You're paying for 2 people.
But the biggest thing is this is again off the 2009-2010 school year, so the most recent numbers available. Their district administration is running 5.4% for 2,100 students.